Think your pocket change is worthless? Think again. These three coins, a Washington quarter, the Bicentennial Quarter, and a Susan B. Anthony dollar, could be hiding in plain sight and worth hundreds of thousands or even millions. Stay tuned as we uncover their shocking history, insane errors, and jaw-dropping auction values. Segment 1, Historical Background, 0:30 to 2 o'clock. Let's rewind to 1965. America was going through major changes, socially, politically, and even in its coins. Up until 1964, quarters were made from 90% silver. But rising silver prices caused a shortage. People were hoarding coins left and right, and the U.S. Mint had to act fast. So in 1965, the Mint eliminated silver from quarters and replaced it with a copper-nickel-clad composition. This was a massive change in U.S. coinage history. The Mint also took another unusual step. They didn't mark the 1965 quarters with a mint mark, to avoid people hoarding coins from specific mints. It was the beginning of a whole new coin era, and it produced some of the rarest and most sought-after era coins in existence. Segment 2, What makes the 1965 quarter rare? 2 to 4 o'clock. Now here's where things get really exciting. Most 1965 quarters are common, but a tiny number were accidentally struck on 1964 silver planchets. Yes, that means they were struck using the old 90% silver blanks that should have been phased out. These silver 1965 quarters are considered major mint errors, and they're ultra-rare. Here's what makes them special. They weigh about 6.25 grams, instead of the typical 5.67 grams of a clad quarter. They have a shiny, silver appearance without the reddish copper core visible on the edge. And they pass the ping test, silver rings, while clad coins make a dull sound. Only a few of these silver planchet 1965 quarters have ever been confirmed, and when they hit the auction block, wow! They've sold for $35,000, $50,000, even over $100,000. In fact, in 2014, one such 1965 silver quarter sold for $7,050, and more recently, in 2022, another sold for $12,000 in average condition. Imagine what a pristine example could fetch. But that's not all. There are also double die errors, off-center strikes, and clipped planchet quarters from 1965 that are worth big bucks. The rarer the error and the better the condition, the higher the value. Segment 3, How to identify the valuable 1965 quarter, 4 to 6:30. Now, how can you tell if you have a 1965 quarter worth thousands? Let's break it down. Check the edge. If you see copper along the edge, it's the common clad version. But if the edge is pure silver in color, start getting excited. Weigh the coin, use a jewelry or gram scale. A normal 1965 quarter should weigh 5.67 grams. If yours weighs 6.25 grams, it could be a silver planchet error. The ping test, gently flick the coin with your finger. A silver coin gives off a long, sweet ring, very different from the dull sound of modern clad coins. Look for errors, double die obverse, look closely at the Liberty and the date, off-center strikes, and missing letters or clipped planchets can all increase value dramatically. Get it graded. If you suspect you have a rare version, send it to PCGS or NGC for authentication and grading. A coin certified as a silver planchet error or a high-grade example can explode in value. Segment 4, Recent Sales and Auction Records, 6:30 to 8 o'clock. Let's talk real numbers to get your heart racing. In 2022, a silver 1965 Washington quarter graded MS62 by NGC sold for $12,650. In 2019, another example in 55 Australian dollars sold for $7,050. A high-grade MS67 clad version, with no silver but still extremely rare in that condition, has fetched over $3,000. Double die errors have sold in the $500 to $5,000 range depending on their visibility and grade. Off-center strikes with large visible shifts have sold for $1,500 plus. And remember, some of the highest valued coins may not have even surfaced yet. You might be the lucky one to find the next record breaker. Segment 5, Viewer Engagement, 8 to 9 o'clock. Now, here's the real question, have you checked your quarters lately? Go look through your change jar, your dresser drawer, or your old coin collection. You might be sitting on a literal fortune without even realizing it. And if you think you found something rare, don't clean it, just get it weighed and checked professionally. A simple coin scale could be the difference between 25 cents and $25,000. And hey, if you've got a unique 1965 quarter or any other coin you want me to review, drop a comment below or send me a picture. I love hearing from my community, and who knows, you might just get featured in my next video. Outro, 9 to 10 o'clock. If this video blew your mind, and you're now running to check your spare change, then you know you've got to smash that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications. On this channel, we're always digging up America's hidden coin treasures, and some of them are worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. So don't miss out. Share this video with a friend who might have a rare coin just waiting to be discovered. And remember, in the world of rare coins, knowledge is profit, and sometimes, 25 cents can make you a millionaire. Segment 1, 0:30 to 2 o'clock. The birth of the Bicentennial Quarter. To understand why this coin is so special, we need to go back to the early 1970s. The United States was preparing to celebrate its 200th anniversary in 1976, the bicentennial of the signing of the Declaration of Independence. The U.S. Mint decided to mark the occasion by redesigning three iconic coins, the quarter, half dollar, and dollar. So, instead of the usual eagle reverse on the quarter, the Mint introduced a brand new design for 1 year only. The reverse featured a colonial drummer, with a torch of victory between 13 stars. And instead of the usual date, the obverse read 1776 to 1976. For millions of Americans, this became a piece of living history. More than 1.6 billion bicentennial quarters were minted, making them seem common, but here's the twist, some rare versions of this coin are worth a fortune. Segment 2, 2 to 4 o'clock. Why are some worth hundreds of thousands? Not all bicentennial quarters are created equal. The U.S. Mint struck the coin in two main compositions. Copper-nickel clad for circulation. 40% silver clad for collectors, struck at the San Francisco Mint. The silver coins came in proof and uncirculated sets, and these can already command $10 to $500, depending on condition. But here's where things get crazy. Some quarters were struck on the wrong metal planchets. Have dramatic minting errors. Exist in ultra-high grades like MS 68 or above. One bicentennial quarter struck in 40% silver, graded MS 69 by PCGS, sold for $19,200. And a rare off-metal error version, struck on a dime planchet, sold for $9,200. But the showstopper? A unique bicentennial quarter struck on a silver planchet with a deep cameo-proof finish, graded PR 70 DCAM, sold for an astronomical $192,000 at auction. That's right, $192,000 for a quarter. So, if you have a bicentennial quarter at home, it might be worth more than your car, your house, or your entire savings account. Segment 3, 4 to 6 o'clock. What makes a 1976 quarter ultra rare? Let's break down the features that can make your 1976 bicentennial quarter insanely valuable. Metal composition. Most quarters are copper-nickel clad. But if you have one struck in 40% silver, you're already looking at a premium coin. Weigh it. Silver quarters weigh 5.75 grams versus 5.67 grams for clad. Proof versus regular strike. Proof coins from San Francisco will have an S mint mark and mirror-like surfaces. Deep cameo versions are especially valuable when graded high. Mint errors. Look for off-center strikes. Double die obverse, DDO. Die clashes. Strikes on wrong planchets, like a nickel or dime. These rare error types can skyrocket the value to $5,000 to $50,000 plus. Grading matters. A bicentennial quarter in circulated condition might be worth 25 cents. But in MS 67 or higher, it can be worth hundreds or thousands. MS 68 and PR 70 grades are the gold standard. Segment 4, 6 to 730 recent record sales and values. Let's talk real auction results to fuel the excitement. $192,000, deep cameo proof silver quarter, PR 70 DCAM. $19,200, silver bicentennial quarter, MS 69. $9,200, error coin struck on dime planchet. $8,812, double die obverse example, MS 67. $6,462, silver proof version, PR 70. $1,200 to $3,000, off-center or die clash errors. Even a clad bicentennial quarter with beautiful toning or unique die breaks can sell for hundreds of dollars. These aren't just coins, they're lottery tickets hiding in your pocket change. Segment 5, 7:30 to 9 o'clock. How to check your coins for rare value. Now that we've seen the potential, here's how you can check if your bicentennial quarter is a big money winner. Flip it over, make sure you have the drummer boy design. No drummer, no party. Look at the mint mark. D is Denver, P is Philadelphia, and S is San Francisco. Silver versions are usually from San Francisco. Weigh your coin. A silver coin weighs about 5.75 grams. You'll need a precise scale. Examine the edges. If it's silver, the edge will be solid gray. A clad coin has a copper stripe. Use magnification, look for doubling in the word Liberty or the drummer's face for DDO errors. Get it graded. If it looks flawless or has errors, send it to PCGS or NGC. That could unlock its full value. Outro, 9 to 10 o'clock. Call to action plus final hook. So, what are you waiting for? Go check your change jars, your piggy banks, your old coin folders. That 1976 bicentennial quarter you tossed in a drawer years ago might just be worth thousands, or even hundreds of thousands of dollars. And if you love discovering hidden treasures like this, make sure to smash that like button. Subscribe to 4K Rare Coins. Hit the bell so you never miss a coin that could change your life. Section 1, Background and History. To truly appreciate the 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollar, we have to look at the big picture. Released in 1979, this coin was the first U.S. coin to feature a real woman, Susan B. Anthony, an icon of women's suffrage and equality. Designed by Frank Gasparo, the coin replaced the larger Eisenhower dollar, but it shared a similar copper-nickel composition. However, the public didn't warm to it. Its size was close to the quarter, which led to widespread confusion. Despite the good intentions, the Susan B. Anthony dollar was short-lived, minted only from 1979 to 1981, and briefly again in 1999. But it's exactly this short production window, combined with rare varieties, that turns certain versions, especially the 1979 proof issues, into goldmines for collectors. Section 2, the 1979 Mintmark Mystery, Type 1 versus Type 2. Here's where the real magic happens. The San Francisco Mint produced proof versions of the 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollar, marked with an S mintmark. But not all S mintmarks are created equal. There are two distinct types of this coin. Type 1, filled S, the more common version, where the S mintmark appears blurry or filled due to die wear. Over 3 million of these were produced. Type 2, clear S, this is where the money is. On this variety, the S is sharper, clearer, and more defined, as it was struck using a new, clearer mintmark punch. Only about 450,000 to 600,000 of these exist, a fraction of the total. Because the difference is only visible under magnification, Many of these Type 2 coins go unnoticed by casual sellers and collectors. But to the trained eye, spotting one can be like finding a needle in a haystack made of pure silver. Section 3, Market Value, Big Numbers. Now let's talk money, and this is where things get seriously exciting. A 1979 S-Type 1 proof dollar typically sells for $5 to $20, depending on condition. But a 1979 S-Type 2 proof dollar? These can sell for $50 to $100 in lower proof grades. $200 to $500 in grades like PR69 DCAM. And hold on, in perfect grade PR70 Deep Cameo, these coins have sold for over $10,000 at auction. In fact, one flawless PR70 1979 S-Type 2 dollar sold for a jaw-dropping $15,000. And here's where it gets better, extremely rare misstrikes and mint errors on this coin can push values even higher. We're talking off-center strikes, double dies, wrong planchets. These can fetch $20,000 to $50,000 plus depending on rarity and demand. Yes, a single dollar coin from 1979 could potentially pay off your student loans, buy you a new car, or even help with a down payment on a house. Section 4, How to Identify a Type 2. Want to see if you've got a winner? Here's how you can check. Get a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe. You'll need 10x magnification. Examine the S mint mark. If it looks thick, blobby, or filled, it's a Type 1. If it appears sharper, with clear serifs and details, you may have the rare Type 2. If you're unsure, consult a professional grader or send it to a grading service like PCGS or NGC. A certified Type 2 in top condition is an investment you can bank on. Section 5, Even More Valuable, Mint Errors and Rarities. Let's talk about Holy Grails, those 1979 S coins with errors. Some examples include double-struck proofs. These coins are hit more than once by the press and can show doubled images, extremely rare and often worth $5,000 to $20,000. Off-metal strikes. If the coin was struck on the wrong planchet, like a dime or nickel blank, it could fetch $25,000 or more at auction. Clipped planchets or off-center strikes. These rare mint mistakes add thousands to the value instantly. Combine a Type 2 mint mark with one of these errors, and you're now talking about a 5-figure jackpot, possibly even 6 figures depending on condition and market demand. Section 6, Why this coin matters today. Besides its incredible value, the 1979 S. Susan B. Anthony dollar is historically significant. It's the first U.S. coin to honor a real woman, and it reflects a pivotal moment in America's numismatic and social history. Collectors love this coin for its symbolism and scarcity. Investors chase it for its high ROI potential. Everyday people might pass it over, until they realize that little s could mean serious cash. Tiro, call to action, keep viewers engaged. So, have you checked your change jars? Your old proof sets? That forgotten coin collection in your attic? One coin, just one, could be worth over $10,000 or more. And you wouldn't even know it without this video. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the 1979 S. Susan B. Anthony dollar, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Old CHILR Coin for more mind-blowing coin discoveries, hidden treasures, and top dollar finds. Comment below if you've ever found or owned a Susan B. Anthony dollar. We'd love to hear your story.